Hey everybody, welcome to another video. I'm DBS TCG Central. How you doing? And today I'm going to go over a leader that I love. It's one of the stronger green leaders that are available for playing green good stuff in. Now that Cell got banned. I love this card, and I'll show you my deck profile for him. Super strong and competitive. So today we're doing Ferocious Strike SS Sun Goku. Really strong leader. Let me tell you what he does. So auto burst 3 when this card attacks, draw 1 card. So you have to burst 3 when this card attacks for you to draw the card, which is good because you want to put a bunch of cards in your graveyard for this deck. It's more like a dredge deck or a graveyard oriented deck. So we use a lot of cards that we can use their effects from the graveyard to play them. So it's an extension of your hand, realistically. It also hand controls your opponent. So I'll show you what it does. But its other auto is when one of your battle cards is KO'd, you may flip this card over, and if you do, draw 1 card and switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode. Another way, its alternate awaken is when this card is at 4 or less, you may draw 2 cards and you can flip this card over. So we want to awaken by one of our battle cards getting KO'd. It's a way to awaken early, and you can keep all your life. You don't have to lose it, and then you get certain effects you can do with your life. So when he awakens, Ferocious Strike, SS Sun Goku. It has burst 3. When this card attacks, you draw a card, just like the other side. And then active main / active battle. So you could do it during a battle, or you could do it on your turn. Place 2 cards from your life into your drop area. Choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place them in their owner's drop area. So it's a built-in board wipe if you take 2 of your life and put them in your drop area. If you crit 2 life. When you awaken, you'll be able to awaken at 8 life, so it's not that big of a deal, and it's used for emergencies. So don't worry that you're taking life. So let's see some of the cards in the deck to show you how this thing works. All right, so we run unisons. For this deck, we want all our counterplays and everything to be live. So we play one of the best one-drop green unisons there are in the game, and that is Demonegra, Unison of Sorcery. So this card is a powerhouse. For green, it's a must in a lot of decks, depending on the deck, if you need certain other unisons to make it work. But the permanent on this card is if you would lose a marker from any opponent's attack, you may add 1 card from your life to your hand instead. So if they swing at this guy, instead of him losing a marker from the attack, you can literally take 1 of your life, and then he'll be safe. It negates the attack pretty much, or it negates the attack. I mean, the point of damage being taken away from him. Its +1 is this card gets plus 10,000 power for the turn, so it turns into a 15k attacker for 1 energy. And then it's got a -3 that comes in handy too. Active main, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 3 or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So it can KO any battle card, first off, and then it can KO a battle card with barrier that's 3 or less. Super strong. I'll show you why we run him too. He's just he's a powerhouse. You can play all your unison negates and free counter plays because you run him turn 1. So everything's live. Great turn 1. So then we also run Metacooler, Terrifying Horde. Now, this is for late game. You start accruing some more draw power. You can go in for game with this card. He's really, really strong. Let me tell you what he does. So active main once per turn. If your leader card is mono green, play 1 Metacooler token. So you play him, and then once per turn, you can play another Metacooler token, which is a 15k attacker. So he comes out, he's an attacker, then you get another attacker for playing for 3 energy. Huge. So it's +1, is you may choose 1 card in your hand and discard it, it's a really good ability because you can get what you have in your hand into your drop area to use their effects. So it's super strong in this deck. And then once you put that 1 card in the drop area from your hand, you can draw 2 cards. So it's a filter, but you draw an extra card on it. So it's really, really powerful. And then if you get to 5 or more markers on this card, you can -4 him, and then you can play 3 Metacooler tokens. So you can go for game if you need a lot of pressure on. you can, it's so good. You can do the +1 and just draw some extra cards, get some filtering in to do what you need to do. But a lot of the times I'll wait till like turn 5, maybe turn 4. I'll protect him with all the counter plays we can use for free after he's on the board. And then I'll -4 him, and then you get the once per turn token, but you also get 3 more. So you put out 4 tokens plus this guy, which is 5 attacks you get just from this card. It is so strong. It's so good in green. It's insane. So, like I said, we play the free counter plays that we use for this deck for running the Unison. So, 4 Frieza, Charismatic Villain. If you don't know what it does, it's a counter play. If your opponent plays a battle card with energy cost, I think it's 7 or less. Let me see. Permanent. When you play... Yeah, so when you play this card, if your opponent plays a battle card and when it's played, you play this for free if you have a Unison with 2 or more markers out, and it'll just KO whatever comes out if it doesn't have barrier. Super strong. This card actually gets around Deflect because it is a counterplay, but when they play their monster with Deflect, this card takes effect. Its ability takes effect after it's in play. So it gets played with Deflect, so I can't touch it, but this card can still be played, and then after it's played on the battlefield, this will KO it. So it's a super strong counterplay for green. It's really good. It only hits 7 or less. That's most of the cards you're going to come into contact with are going to be 7 or less. There is some giant boss monsters that it might miss and stuff like that, but I mean, there's other ways to get rid of stuff, and I'll show you how. Also, a really good combo with this card is once this is out for 5, you can use this card here. I run 2. Fuzamatsu's Deity's Wrath. So it's got indestructible, which means it cannot be removed by your opponent in any way unless they minus 20,000 or more for this card. So red has ways to get rid of it, but other than that, it's very safe to play. You're always going to have it on the board for a while. But you play it for 1 on top of a 5-drop. So this, I believe, gets KO'd, and then you can play this. It's almost like a successor. So you play it for 1, and when this card attacks, your opponent, hold on, choose up to 1 of your green battle cards. Okay, yes. When this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, and they place it in the drop area. So it's just more aggression, because this guy, he's good, but he's only a 10K, and you really want him for just the counterplay. After that, he's just kind of fodder, combo fodder, and then you can just play this guy on top of him, get some extra value, and swing away. Make them drop cards, which is good because it is a little bit of a hand control deck. All right, so another free negate that we play because of our Unisons is Dormant Potential Unleashed. So this is another really strong. It's a floodgate. It's a free negate if you have your Unisons out. So this card, what it does is it's a counterattack, and if your leader card is mono green, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to a total cost of 2 or less and KO them. So this actually board wipes tokens, but anything that has energy 2 or less, or if you have 2 1-drops, you can just KO them, first of all. So that is the first ability from the counterattack. And then if you have a green Unison in play, you can activate this card's counter from your hand without paying its energy cost. But so after you KO those, additionally, you may choose 1 green card in your hand and discard it. And if you do, your opponent can only attack once more for the turn. Super strong, especially in this deck where you have stuff in your hand that you want to put in your drop. So when you play this, you can get whatever you have in your hand in your drop, so you can use it from your drop. And also you're going to floodgate your opponent where they can't attack again after you play this card. So it is super strong. Speaking of floodgates, we have green Topo. This is the Majin Buu. It came out a few sets ago. Unadulterated malice. It's exactly like a Topo. So it just has 10K instead of 20K. If your leader card is green, you may negate the attack. Play this card. If you played a card, choose up to 1 card in your hand and discard it. Your opponent can only attack with... I'm sorry, can only attack again if they take 2 cards in their hand and discard them. So you play this card for 2 and you're super safe because every time they attack now, they have to discard 2 cards. Really strong. So floodgate, free counterplay, added aggression, and discarding is what this card does, and it's super strong. And the unisons have their own effects that are really powerful as well. All right, so now we'll get into some of the graveyard stuff. So kodzukai, if he's in your drop, you can pay 1, remove it, and then your opponent can't play anything with 20k or less for the turn unless they discard 2 cards from their hand. Additionally, when you pay 1 and you discard it you warp it from your drop area, you could put 2 cards at the bottom of your deck and then draw 2. So it's a good filter. Really, really strong. It adds another layer of protection. Or if you're trying to be aggressive, they can't play a topo or something 20k or less without discarding 2 cards. So it's really, really powerful. And like I said, in this deck, you're doing a lot of discarding as well, so it's super strong. 2 more free negates. I run 2 just to help with a few things, and I'll explain why I need a little more extra cards in the drop. But it's a counter attack, homicidal clones. If you're at 5 or less energy, you can take a life, play this card for free, negate the attack, and then it plays a blocker token. I play these cards a lot. I think that these free negates are really, really strong, and they help you out in a pickle. But then when the blocker token's out, you can block with the blocker. So it negates 2 attacks potentially if they don't do any shenanigans to the token that comes out. Another negate I run that's super strong for more aggression also is cocoonza, Beastly Maiden. This is just a really strong card. It's a counterattack and it negates the attack. If your leader is green and it's your opponent's turn, you can reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So it becomes a 2-drop. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So they attack, you play it for 2, you negate the attack, and then you can KO something else on their board that they have. So it stops 2 attacks. Really strong. If they attack with the leader and they have another battle card out, you could negate the attack from the leader and then KO their battle card or anything else that's pesky on the board that you need to get rid of. So just a 2 of, really, really strong. This card is one of the game enders. You play him late game. He gets played for 4. He's a dual attack, and he's got a permanent that if there are 10 or more non-black cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost in your hand by for this by 2. So it turns into a 4-drop. And then auto, choose 1 card in your drop area and send it to your warp. When this card attacks, choose up to 1 green extra card in your drop area and add it to your hand. Then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and they send it to their warp. Super, super strong. So it's got dual attack, and that auto isn't a once per turn. So you play it for 4 and you attack. And once you attack, you can throw anything that you're not going to get back from your drop area into your warp. And if you do that, you can take any extra card back to your hand. So that counts as homicidal clones. Also, you get back dormant potentials to be super safe. So these are just negates that you'll get back to your hand when you play him to defend yourself. So if you tap out, you can get these free negates to play to be even more safe. So it is really, really good. He is super strong. And he's a 19k dual attack, so that just puts a lot of pressure on as well. The super combo of choice for this deck. We are a dredge deck, so we are bursting 3 a lot. We are putting a lot of stuff in our drop area to draw more cards, to use abilities on cards like dormant potential and stuff. So I decided to run the green sparking negate super combo. Green sparking super combo. So with this, you only need 5 cards in your drop area for it to become live. Your leader will not be down at 4 life often. So it was hard to find a super combo that worked well with him. I was thinking about doing a dual colored one. I was going to run the green blue Android 18 for more hand destruction for your opponent, but I really like drawing more. So this card, it's live automatically, and you can draw a card, you get the combo from it, and it's really strong. I just like drawing more rather than dropping more cards from my opponent, because I do get a lot out of their hand as it is. So I run a spicy blue-green package in this thing. This is gonna get a little weird because I don't know if you guys seen. Oh, let me finish the graveyard stuff first. So obviously I'm running green good stuff in this deck, so you got to run 4 Rubians. What they do is, when they're in your drop area, you can pay 2 green energy, and if your leader is green, you can make your opponent discard 2 cards. So I run 4. You're dredging a lot. They're usually going to be put in your drop area. If not, you can discard them with the dormant potential when you use the ability, or the Majibu when you use that ability and stuff like that. So really strong. It's, I call it a reverse ape. The Saiyan yellow ape that makes you draw 2 cards. It's like the reverse. If you have a green leader, you pay 2 green, and then they just discard 2 cards. It's just super strong. It's really good. It's a staple in green right now. And then I run 2 of these guys, a Zarbon Cosmic Elite. This was a super expensive card for a while. It was a $100 card, but they reprinted it in the Mythic Booster and a few promos. So it's very cheap now, and you can get it. It's affordable. But if this thing is in your drop area, you can play 1 green. You could discard a card, and then you can play this card from your drop area. And then you got a blocker, and when your opponent kills this from blocking or removes it from a skill, then you can make your opponent discard a card. So it is really strong, and it helps with defense. If you have a live energy, it's good to play it, especially if you need to tap out and play it, and then you can play dormant potential. Okay, so here is a crazy little package that I run. So I run Tapion. This is a blocker. You're going to be playing this, like, your leader awakens when one of your cards is KO'd. So I run this blocker. When your leader, if your leader is a green or a phantom demon card, you may discard this card from your hand, and then you may choose one. Draw 1 card, then play this card from your drop area at the end of the turn. So there's a few shenanigans I'll show you with this. Or you could choose to activate up to 1 sealed music box from your deck, and then shuffle your deck, which is not in this deck, so we don't have to worry about that second one. We're always just going to discard it, pay 1 green, and at the end of the turn, it's going to come into play as a blocker. So, that being said, I run this bad Larry also here. So this is a 7-drop Herodogan Phantom Demon. It's an old promo, and if you play this card, you have a Tapion in your drop area and a Minosha, which I'll show you in a moment. You can literally play this for free, and it's a 20k blocker. I don't know if you can see, but if you have a Tapion in your drop, you can play it. So on your turn, you're going to play this. It's going to go into your drop, and then once it's in your drop, you can play this card because you'll have a Minosha in there too for free. And I run 4 because you really want to see it. So you don't have to worry about paying any blue because it's free. And this you only have to pay a green with to play it. It'll be in your drop with the Minosha, and then you play this, and it comes out, and then you got a 20k blocker. On your opponent's turn, this card turns into a 10k. So it's just really meant for blocking. Or I'll show you what else it does with this card. So this is a Herodogan. It's a 9-drop. It came out in, I believe it was one of the draft boxes. Yeah, draft box 3, I believe, or 6 or something like that. So it's got Revive Blue-Green, unique blocker. So active main, if your leader card is green or a Phantom Demon card, and you choose 1 Herodogan card with energy cost 4, 6, or 7 in your battle area and KO it, play this card from your drop area, and you can't activate active main skills copies of this card for the turn. If your leader card is a green phantom demon, a green or a phantom demon, when this card activates a blocker skill, choose up to 1 of your opponent's cards in their hand, and they discard it. So this is just a huge defense beast monster that I put out. I mean, if you want, you can go to game. You can go to for game with it. It's a 30k beat stick. But for the most part, you're using for the abilities and the blocking. It's a little combo I picked up. I saw it, and I thought it was super, super strong. And I wanted something a little spicy in this deck, and I wanted to play some more stuff from the drop area. So it's really good. So that Tapion. So you'll play it do this ability for 1. It'll be in your drop, and then at the end of turn, well, it'll be in your drop, so you can play this card to do this ability, and then when you say pass, it comes back into play. So it's super strong. And then for 1 energy, if you want, before that even happens, you can KO this if you get attack in with it, or you can block because you might need to awaken. So you could do this as early as turn 1 if you have another energy open. Turn 2 most of the time. Then you play this for another 1 energy on top of him. It KOs this, and your leader, if one of your battle cards is KO'd, it awakens. So you can self-awaken yourself, or you can wait for one of the blockers to get blocked and get KO'd, and then you can awaken also. All right, and then I run a secret rare, and I went with this guy, Black Smoke Dragon, Eternal Evil. He's really strong. He's good for this deck. I'll explain what he does. It can attack. This card can attack if you have 12 or more cards in your drop area. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 5. So you're not going to attack with it, but you're going to play it to enfeeble your opponent, and you play it for 5 energy on your turn 5. I always use, so active main once per turn, you can choose one. I use this first one constantly. Choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and send them to their owner's warps. I'm sorry, I do the second one because your leader automatically board wipes for you. So you won't have to worry about it. If they have blockers or anything, you can just take 2 life if you're going to go for game, kill all their barrier blockers, and then see you later. But I use it for this one, the second ability, sorry. Choose 4 cards. Your opponent chooses 4 cards. Choose 4 cards in your opponent's hand and send them to the owner's warp. So they have to spread out their hand, not show it to you, and you can choose 4 cards randomly from them, and then they get warped. That might be the rest of the cards in their hand because there's a lot of hand control in this. So you finish the rest of the cards off their hand for 4, and then you just swing with all the guys that you have out in accrued. But yeah, that's my green Super Saiyan Ferocious Strike Goku deck profile. It's super strong. It is really good in the meta right now. I have a little bit of the spice with the Minoshas and stuff, and the Tapions in here, and I don't know how much more fun I could have with the deck because board wiping everybody once per turn, twice per turn for free, and being so safe and defensive is absolutely insane. But it's a really spicy deck, and when you pop it on people, they don't even understand what's happening. They're like, "What's going on here?" The only trouble you might come into is if you play a mill deck because you're already milling yourself. But there's ways around it, and you can not mill as much and just get what you need in your drop area too. So you can play conservatively. But all right, that's it for the deck profile. I'm DBS TCG Central. Thanks for joining me on another one. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have an online eBay store that I'll have the link for below, and then I'll probably start putting links for my Instagram and eBay down there too. But Facebook. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope I see you guys again on the next one. Appreciate it.